This is the Lynchburg, Virginia, Friday morning, November 11th, 1864. And believe it or not, it's more or less trash. In fact, it's basically completely trash. At least as far as a historical artifact and stuff like that. Interesting things. Paper's printed crooked, which is what stymied the person who bought it in a large stack of other things as far as mounting and reselling, because you just can't get her nice and square. It's got some real bad oxidation stuff. This side's cricket boards. Okay. This side's much more readable, but it's not nearly as interesting. You've got a bank notice here. You've got some articles about the moral implications of fighting for slavery. You had this neat article here about Negro soldiers fighting for the South, but it's been whacked off. That wasn't meant to be dirty. I'm saving it. I'm going to trim it here. I know, sacrilege, right? But again, I pull it out of the trash. I'm going to trim it up and showcase the want ads, because I think those are the most fascinating. And I'm probably going to use this side here, because we've got rewards for the return of runaway slaves. We've got an obituary for Willie B Cross in the 23rd year of his age. And it more or less reads like a proletariat, Menshevik, Bolshevik, Russian Revolution poem. Yeah, I'll read you that one. Was killed August 21st, 1864, near Berryville, Clark County, Virginia. Willie B Cross in the 23rd year of his age. When our young nation threw off the yoke of the tyrant and raised the standard of liberty, Willie was among the first who willingly left his happy home in Lynchburg and enlisted under their banner, resolved with her to live with her, to die for her. His sincerity was fully and nobly attested by his patriotic and patient endurance of trials, the hardships and dangers of the camp, the march of the battlefield, by his cheerful suffering with the provisions and attendance on a long confinement within the enemy's lines, and finally by his calmly yielding up his life in a willing sacrifice to the land that gave him birth. The death of Willie Cross is deeply lamented by all who knew him, his comrades in arms, whose highest esteem and praise were secured by his ever generous and gallant conduct, by an extensive circle of citizens and friends who knew him as warm-hearted and interesting youth, but especially by the loved ones at home. That's in quotes. He is most truly mourned. Mourn no longer, O bereaved mother, for thy boy. Sorrow no more, for gentle sister, for thy brother. Though he is lost to you, he still lives in the hearts of a grateful people who now enjoy and will continue to enjoy the blessings his bloodbath purchased. His name is already enrolled on glory's page, where it will remain, brightening with the prosperity of our nation and lasting as her history. Well, Willie, you picked the wrong side. I bet nobody remembers anymore. This one's fascinating. $100 reward. We will pay someone $100 for the apprehension and delivery of our office boy, Ferdinand, who ran away on the night of the 2nd. He's about 12 or 13 years of age, very bright color, light-colored straight hair, and will no doubt attempt to pass himself off as being a white boy, and had on, when he left, a mixed jeans suit of clothes, roundabout coat, black hat fastened up on one side with a military button. He reads very well, is very sprightly and intelligent, and at J.B. Hardgrove & Co. is who you want to round up their boy. Got some bank notice, lost horses. Okay. Okay. Notice, run away from my plantation in Bedford County the night of the 14th, my Negro man, Booker. He's about 38 years old, 5 feet 10 inches of height, of light brown gingerbread color. It is believed said Negro is lurking about the Lynchburg, or somewhere in the county of Campbell or Bedford. I will give a liberal reward for the apprehension and delivery of said Negro, or secure him in a jail that I can get him again. Mr. O. Mitchell. We got a slave auction here. I can't read all of it because the tape's in the way. Got a sale of Negroes. God, what a horrible, horrible time to be alive, huh? Raid on the Louisville and Nashville Railroad. A dispatch from Louisville says, the Journal says a gang of guerrillas made an attack on the Louisville and Nashville Railroad yesterday, striking at Cave City.
What happened?
I coughed. Daddy! Several Negro soldiers were captured and killed. The scoundrels, after perpetration of this outrage, retreated from the road in great haste. Here's a talk about the election of Mr. Lincoln. Everything is agog in the North with the presidential election, a dispatch from Washington says. The Governor, Dennison, Postmaster General, has gone to Ohio to vote. Secretary Wells and Chief Clerk Fanton left tonight for Connecticut, and Secretary Stewart and Assistant Frederick Seward left for New York. Not less than 30,000 soldiers, clerks, and employees of different kinds have gone home to vote, and there is not left enough clerical force to run any bureau or department here. 2 extra trains left here today with voters, and last night nearly 1,500 were left for want of cars. A dispatch from Philadelphia says, one of the brigades of the 6th Army Corps has arrived home from Sheridan's army to vote. Railroad accidents. The evening train bound from Danville from this place ran off the track at 4 o'clock this afternoon, 3 miles from town. General Banks, head of Mississippi, and Miss Palmer of Richmond were injured, the latter seriously, rendering an amputation of one leg necessary. Several others were slightly injured, and 3 cars with their freight were totally wrecked. Got a notice of public bond for some runaway slaves. Can't read it. It's in really bad shape there. So, anyways, I'm going to commit a mortal sin. I'm going to make it fit this, which means that across the bottom is going to go away forever. And then I'm going to do something even more horrible. I'm going to discard it. I know. It's a horrible travesty, but here, once again, guys. Just because it's old doesn't mean it's significant. Just because it's old doesn't mean it's rare. You can actually call up most of the Richmond Virginian online, I believe, and watch it. Because I seem to have done it in my classrooms. I hear you, bud. You're getting awful whiny, though, so let Daddy finish, and then we'll drill some holes. Okay? All right, thank you. So anyways, don't necessarily hate me. It's just what's got to be done, or it's going to be thrown away. So she's already gotten a second life, going to be mounted in here, mounted on the wall as a favor for a friend.